Hello everybody, how are you all doing? I'm pressing the wrong buttons. That's a very good start to the stream, but how are you all doing today? We're here for round number 5 of the lovely circuit of China today. After a few seasons, we do return to the wonderful, fabulous circuit here for season 9, round number 5, like I just said. And weather dependent, shall we just say. Looking like rainy conditions today, so that's going to be a bit of a tough one. Bit of an interesting one. So the drivers may struggle just a little bit, like the real life F1 today for the sprint quality. If you watched that, by the way, I'll try not to spoil much of it, but let's put it this way. It went from a dry session to a very, very wet session, and the grip levels were very different, shall we just say. So fairly interesting. We're just getting a few more drivers in the lobby, and then we'll get started with some awesome qualifying, and then some awesome sprint racing, and then followed by an awesome feature race. But I guess while we are waiting to get everything ready for this lovely circuit, let's have a look at round number 6, which is a sprint race, obviously for the F1 lot, obviously for tiers 1 and 2, but obviously as we're doing F2 today, there's always going to be a sprint race and a feature race every single round, so that's nothing different from the F2 lot. And next round we go to Spa, the lovely track of Spa, known as Belgium. And I must say, an interesting one. I'm not a big fan of it, to be honest. Of course, it's got a very easy Sector 1 and Sector 2. But, to be honest, you know, it's a difficult track for me, to be honest, but some drivers and other people may find it just a little bit easier. But like I said, we're just waiting to get going, and then we can crack on. So what I'll do for you lovely and wonderful people is I'll take you to the main screen of the main event for tonight's race. Look at all those drivers all ready to go. You could say the British Empire is taking over. You got Suffocating, James Mustang, Viper Strikes, Twin, Jazz and Vers, all using the lovely British flag. Definitely a UK takeover, shall we say. But like we're still waiting for a few more drivers, we could talk about the track itself. So the Shanghai International Circuit, absolutely love it, one of our all-time favourites, and I'm so glad that the Formula 1 has decided to start racing at this circuit again. And it's got a total of 16 corners. Unlike F1 cars, F2 cars do not have the opportunity of ERS, so it's all about how good your exits are and how good your entrances to corners are as well. So you've got a total of 16 corners, like I just said, and I believe you have 2 lovely, big, massive DRS zones. Of course, your first DRS is going to be on the exit of turn 16 down to turn number 1. That's where you get a nice rear wing open and see if you get an overtaking opportunity move done there. And then your second DRS zone is on the exit of turn 13 down to turn 14, which of course, once again, you get the rear wing open, you see what you can do, you see what overtakes you can get done, and yeah, we've got some awesome action ready for tonight. And I'd say most of the drivers may struggle. Of course, the F2 cars are a little bit different than F1 cars, a little bit more of a tough challenger of the F2 cars, so that's what I find, in my opinion anyway. They're probably going to struggle in Sector 1. Obviously, you've got the right-handers, you've got the left-handers, and the right-hander again. It's just all over the place. And then, of course, you've got a Sector 2 as well, which is not as tricky, but as F2 cars are a little bit slightly different. It could be a little bit harder to turn it into the corner and go flat out like you can do in the original F1 cars. But we're just waiting for all the lovely drivers to get their setups ready, and then once we get the green light, we'll get the one-shot qualifying done and dusted. We'll see who are on board today. If it's Twin again, it's going to be insane. Literally, every qualifying session I've done so far for this F2 season, or season 9, it's always been on board with Twin. I don't know if the game thinks, oh, you know, we're going to go favoritism, we're going to go for Twin on board the whole season. Let's see if the curse breaks today, or if it still continues in 20 seconds time. If it is, I will be absolutely blown away. But yeah, we'll keep on board with the driver that we're on board with, so we don't flicker through the screens too much, because obviously when you do with one-shot qualifying, it does black the screen, which isn't ideal, and I've had a few comments and feedback that people don't really enjoy seeing that. So we're just going to say what the feedback says and go with that. So here we go again. And today, the curse is not broken, chat. We're still on board with Twin. So I don't know what to say as we see Vers retire from the session. It looks like they might have a quali ban of some sort, but Twin making their way into the first couple of corners in Sector 1, currently sitting in P9 and now goes up to P7, so they're finding some pace out there on the circuit. We'll see what they can do as we ride on board in 2. Heading towards Sector 2 very, very shortly. They are a little bit slow out of that corner though. I'm pressing wrong buttons. Why are they going slowly? Is there a reason why they're going slowly? I'm not too sure. So we're going to flicker just to a different driver because I'm not too sure what's going on with Twin there. So we'll go on board with Suffocating. Having a very good qualifying session so far. Currently sitting in provisional pole right now, which is absolutely crazy. Nadim popping his way up into P4, P5, and then dropping a few places. So a top 5, top 6, squabbling quite a lot there. Ollie using as much of the track as he possibly can, getting extremely close to those track limits and the white lines. Make sure you keep at least 2, I believe it's 2 tyres out of the white lines and your lap will be valid. So Suffocating right now heading down towards turn number 14. We'll get the DRS open, which we can't see at the moment because we've got a very, I'd say, bad camera angle, so there's not much we can do at the moment, so just right on board with him still, but powering his way all the way down to turn number 14, 15 and then 16 very, very shortly. Still, shall we just say, on pole position. No one has been able to challenge for Suffocating yet. Brisbane currently in a comfortable P2, followed by Robin McQueen down in P3, taking the final podium position as we cross the line now for a one-shot quali. Nadim retires. It's a 145.47, a 145.352. So the top 2 very, very close, but actually saying that, never mind Brisbane. I didn't realise Brisbane takes pole position actually and snatches it away from Suffocating. That was interesting. So it looks like Brisbane just got a slightly better exit than Suffocating on the exit of turn 16 and separated by 0.005 of a second. That's absolutely crazy. And then Webby around about a 10th behind. So definitely not ideal, but like I said, we have got a sprint race and a feature race to go ahead. So it gives drivers a double chance to potentially get some good points here, spice up the order a little bit. It's not over yet, it's just a qualifying session, so we'll head into the main race now and see how they get on. Nadim currently starting down, I believe that was in last place, and we'll see if they can do an absolute perfection and storm through the field. And look at that, it's wet weather, definitely not ideal here at China. Let's see how the drivers determine their aggression and confidence on throttle brake and acceleration. Oh, it's going to be a spicy one. And if you're just tuning in as well, a warm welcome to you. You join me, Mr. Flynn, today for F2 commentating. And as always, if you do want to keep up to date with our social media and stuff like that, our Twitter is down below. You can join our Discord, which is also down below, and make sure to hit that follow button so you keep up to date on when we do go live back on this channel. We do F2, we do ACC, and we do tiers 1 and 2. For the normal F1. So many stuff going on this channel. Make sure to hit that follow button. Trust me, you don't want to miss what happens on this channel. It's absolutely crazy like that. A qualifying session separating the top 2 by 0.005 of a second. Just because Brisbane got a slightly better exit on turn 16, he was able to power his way through to the finish line by such a fine margin. Waiting game, and then we can get on with things. Do. Oh, Yakov. That's not ideal. I was wondering where you were today because you were being a bit quiet. But anyways then, enough about that. It's 5 red lights here at the lovely circuit of China. It's lights out and away we go. A very steady start, shall we say, for the top 2. And it looks like Twin is going to take the lead down into turn 1, but there's going to be Maverick trying to challenge Twin into the very tricky sector 1 at the moment. He's still on the inside, Twin on the outside, positions changing left, right and centre, suffocating, get past Prison, Webby making his way up into P8. So much is happening only on lap 1. We've got a Red Bull in the background using that livery. Oh, there's a bit of drifting going on. A lovely, lovely save, and I'm not too sure who that was, but whoever that was, they were having a bum squeaky moment, and it definitely kept the car in control there. Oh, bit of contact there. It's all carnage. It's all going round. They're all sideways coming out of turn number 6, and someone not going to be happy because that's definitely big damage. There's a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting. Definitely not ideal. We've got James Mustang trying to challenge Matt, trying to go around the outside. Now takes the inside line, and Matt says, thank you very much. I'll take P5 and stay P5. You're not getting past me. We've got more challenging happening up ahead, and that is Maverick actually getting around Twin for P1. So we've got a new race leader only on lap number 1, finishing sector 2 now, heading towards sector 3. If Twin can get close enough on the exit of turn number 16, he could get a lovely toe to then make the overtake once again as we make our way down to turn number 14, but he doesn't seem to be close enough. There's a virtual safety car on lap number 1 of the sprint race, and I'm not too sure what's going on. Probably just all the chaos going on, the cars around, damage on the track, wing on the track, bits and bobs like that. But yeah, I believe what you're going at, Jakob. I'm guessing that was Joe who did that late braking move, which definitely wasn't smart and definitely not ideal. So they find themselves with a time penalty worthwhile of 3 seconds for corner cutting. Definitely not what you want to see, and definitely not ideal. But we'll get back to racing very shortly once the yellow flags and the virtual safety car wanders into endlessness. It should be any moment now. Exactly. Can you imagine if they actually made that in the game of F1 23? If you could cause a fire on the track. It's crazy how that's causing a fire on the track though, with the sparks under the F1 cars. That's just crazy. But hey, it is what it is. But big up Lando Norris is all I'm going to say. Big up the McLaren driver. Absolutely fantastic. A very good restart then by Robin McQueen, putting the pressure already on Twin. Let's go on board with him as he makes his way down into turn number 6. And Twin and Mav both go deep into that corner. And that says thank you very much to Webby, who will now take P1 into this race, get around Mav, and now can try to run away. But Mav's going to try and challenge him on the inside, but just doesn't have the grip and the momentum. But he somehow managed to find that grip. They make slight contact, making their way through the S's of sector 2, but through goes Webby into P1, lap 2. Absolutely crazy. Mav and Twin both going deep, and it allows Webby up into P1. Absolutely fantastic. We've got more carnage happening at the back of the grid. It's Nadim and Matt. Nadim trying to get P4 here. Obviously, Nadim starting way down at the back of the grid, but obviously being a dominant driver and very talented at F1, especially F2, he's managed to find his way up into P5 now. So might try and get P4 as he makes his way through turn number 13, now down to turn number 14, and now it's going to be against to get past Twin and then maybe get past Mav. Probably not going to have enough speed or straight line to get past Twin, as you can see. I'm guessing Twin is more advanced on straight line speed, so Nadim is going to be in a bit of a weak spot here as we make our way down to number 14 and then 15, almost 3 wide, slight contact there, and I believe that was Nadim making a bit of rear contact with I believe it was Matt Pyre, who now finds his way up into P3. So Nadim could have slight damage there. So definitely not what we want to have. Wing damage on a wet circuit, because it can be so difficult. Suffocating, piling the pressure now on P number 6, which is going to be Jazz. He might try and go around the outside here, heading towards turn number 1 in sector 1. However, is Ollie able to get it done? No, he's not. He makes slight contact with the rear of Jazz, and that might be Viper trying to go up the inside here and go against his own teammate. Is that going to even be possible? And I don't think it is. Suffocating stays ahead for now, but Joe saying, no, I want to get past my teammate. He's going to try and challenge his teammate, lay on the brakes, Very good from Viper Strikes here. Is he going to get the move done? No, he's not. He's still stuck behind his teammate, and drifting out of that corner is Jazz. Ollie really doing a good job to put the pressure on Jazz for P6. This race is not over for Suffocating yet. Not over yet. However, Nadeem still on the rear wing of Matt, finding his way past Twin. Twin now under pressure from Maverick behind, fighting, or should I say, trying to defend P4, and Matt fighting for P4. Yeah, Twin defending P4 and Mav trying to fight for P4. So a little bit confusing. Get myself confused once again. Absolutely fantastic. And enough about that. Suffocating. Oh, he goes way too wide and that allows Brisen through. And that could allow his teammate Viper Strikes through, but not able to yet, as that was a lovely camera angle as we were just staring at some grass. Absolutely fantastic. Ryan Gosling finds his way up into P8, Suffocating into P7, getting past Brisen once again. Yellow flags. Something's happened. I'm not too sure what it is. Someone's going very, very slowly. And that's Twin going slowly? I'm not too sure what happened there. I don't know if it was like some kind of contact which happened, but enough about that. The lead... Not lead, sorry. The top two are fighting their way now. Nadeem was able to get past Matt for ever such a split second, as Robbie does a 2-minute 1.538, and Nadeem smashes out the window and does a 2-minute 1.466. Nadeem trying to get past Matt here to try and challenge for P1. Webby doing all he can to build that gap and run away with the lead of this race. Nadeem sliding in towards Sector 1, heading towards turn number 3 and then number 4. Obviously, Matt on the inside, Nadeem on the outside. Not where you want to be, really, because Matt can defend that inside line and then slightly move out to the outside to make sure Nadeem can't get past either way. Now, Nadeem is right on the gearbox. Is he going to try and go for a dive into turn number 6? Yes, he is. Late on the brakes. No contact whatsoever. These two keeping it very, very clean right now. And Nadeem just might have found his way through. Has he? No, he hasn't. Matt is still staying ahead here somehow. They're still going to go wheel to wheel around the S section, which definitely isn't a place to do or a place to be. But Matt has to conceal and let Nadeem through for P2. But if Matt's got the upper hand of straight line speed, he could easily keep close to the rear wing on Nadeem and be able to get a move done at the exit of 13 down to 14 as well. So we'll keep on board with them two as we make our way now through turn 12, past 13. Nadeem has already opened that gap by quite a fair margin, and it's now got to open up to about 1.1 of a second. So maybe Matt doesn't have the advantages he was thinking, because Nadeem has absolutely ran away, but that gap is now starting to come down as we make our way down to number 14. So obviously Matt has got the straight line speed advantage, but just isn't close enough to get a move done. Brisen trying to go for P8 now on Vers as we make our way down to 14. These two seem to be equal on straight line speed, but is Brisen brave enough to go on the brakes? He's going to try and go late into 14. Vers trying to fight this one maybe, and just doesn't have the grip or the confidence, but gets right up to the rear wing of Brisen now up into P8, and that was some lovely fighting indeed. But actually Vers heading towards the pit lane now, as it looks like the rain has stopped, chat. This is quite interesting now. So the rain has stopped, which means it could be time for intermediate tyres, which if you go to box now, do it. But is it the right thing to do with not many more laps of racing to go? We'll find out. If you want to try and risk it for a biscuit, then risk it for a biscuit. But Nadeem on the charge right now, maybe trying to get that P1 spot. But right now, Webby doing all he can. 2.3 is the gap. And so far, Webby is able to keep it like that for now, which is absolutely lovely to see. So Webby not feeling the pressure at the moment. Ryan Gosling, however, almost on the rear wing of Jazz to try and get another position done. Obviously, these two, I believe, yes, they are teammates. And oh, someone's sliding off track there. Definitely not ideal. Yellow flags in the background, and that was Twins spinning in the background. And that is Ryan Gosling heading off track, heading offline, Brisen through into P7, Suffocating through into P6, and then Jazz still in that P5 spot where he wants to be with outgoing off track. Indeed, your GOAT Lando Norris, my GOAT Lando Norris, he was absolutely fantastic today. Absolutely on flipping fire. Right then, Viper Strikes in P9 at the moment, ahead of James Mustang. The gap behind him is 2.2. He's now trying to put the pressure on Ryan Gosling, who went off around about turn 5 and 6. Definitely not what you want to be doing. You don't want to be doing a Max Verstappen and going straight on at turn 16 in those very treacherous and tricky in the sprint shootout qualifying. That was some interesting weather dependent, and the gap between those two is coming down to around about a couple of tenths now. The gap right now between Joe and Ryan Gosling is about 9 tenths. So Joe, we're in that second to get a better toe, shall I say? And Viper Strike's actually not sure where he's going. Probably couldn't see where the pit line was or the pit lane, and actually peels in to the pit lane. We've gone on board with Vers for just a second. He's actually on the medium compound tyre. Medium tyres in these conditions can't be starting to dry up already. If it was, I'd be absolutely crazy. But now we've got Brizin trying to put the pressure on, suffocating, unfortunately dropping down to P6, and Brizin through into P5, but it's not done just yet because Suffocating might try and fight this one, and he backs off and conceals for P6 for now. Brizin, very happy with that move, is up into P5 and can try and chase down Jazz, and the gap between those two is 1.5, but Ollie trying to look for another move here. He's looking on the outside, looking on the inside, trying to get a move done where he possibly can. So this battle could commence this whole lap really, because the Suffocating thinks, you know what, if I stay behind now and just stay close, I could overtake him heading towards 10-14 on the exit of 13. So there is an opportunity there, which I think Suffocating might just be thinking, I'll stay behind and then go for the move very, very shortly. But has he got the straight line speed? That's the crucial thing. If he hasn't got the straight line speed, then there might be some problems. Bigger problems happening at the front of the field though. It's Nadim. He is really charged on a massive push here and has really, really closed that gap between himself and Webby. The gap is only, what, 3 tenths now. So Webby might start to feel the pressure ever so slightly, and we'll see what these two do. Do they peel into the pit lane? Is the track drying up? Are they going to risk it for a biscuit and stay out? DRS is now enabled, which will really help out Nadim. And those two straight into the pit lane. Best bet to do and best thing to do. And is everyone else going to come in? So Maverick comes in. Kind of misses a pit lane there. Brisbane comes in. Suffocating comes in. Ryan comes in. James is coming in. Twin. What's he going to do? Peel into pit lane. Matt on the medium tyre. He's on the mediums. He could gain quite a few positions here, but has gone very, very deep into turn number 14. So on the exit of 16, he's not going to be able to get this race net lead. It's going to be Webby back out the front of the field into P1. But Matt, doing the ultimate strategy that he wants to do, could find himself now all the way up into P3. As we look now down on the rest of the field, and Matt up into P3, just about could do it here. Mav on the soft compound tyre will have the advantage at the upper hand at the moment, but obviously will be on colder tyres. Matt able to really do what he can and push a little bit more than Mav can, as his tyres are a lot more warmer. And unfortunately, as Webby exits the pit lane on lap number 7, Nadim, our new race leader, takes the lead of this race. The gap between them two is 5 tenths of a second. Yellow flags in the background, and that's going to be, I believe that's James Mustang causing that, so I'm not too sure why he's causing yellows and why that is causing yellows, but we'll keep an eye on that later. Nadim running away now with a potential victory. The gap between himself and Webby is 1.2, so if Webby can't find any more pace, that could literally be his race win done and dusted and over. But on board and Matt, currently in P4, Maverick ahead in P3. Obviously Mav on those soft compound tyres has really got to use them up here if he wants to try and challenge for P2, if that's even possible. We'll find out later on as this race comes to a close very, very shortly. Brisbane right on the gearbox then of Jazz, and of course DRS enabled this lap, which could mean that Brisbane could get an easy P5 here, because on the exit of turn 13 he pulls to the right hand side, he has DRS enabled, and Matt, there's nothing he can do, and yeah, nothing Matt can do to get P3 for now, as we saw Brisbane makes his way up into P5 getting ahead of Jazz. So it looks like Mav might have better exits, of course, on those soft compound tyres just for now. But Matt doing what he can and keeping within a second, which you want to do. So, Jazz now looking to get on the gearbox of Risen to try and say, you know what, I want that P5 back because I don't want to be P6, I want to be P5. So we could see a little bit of a spicy battle between those two. And yeah, so we'll see what happens towards the end of the race. Suffocating down in P7, the gap between himself and Jazz is around about 1.6, and that is closing rapidly. So Suffocating maybe better in Sector 1 than Jazz. And a little bit of a lock up there. I believe that might have been from Brisbane. So a bit of tyre swank there. So if you lock in your tyres, you cause them more wear. That is definitely not what you want to do, and definitely not ideal. Right then, back on board and Matt fighting for P3 against Maverick, who's ahead on the soft compounded tyre. Matt could have the upper hand here. Even though he's on the mediums, they will come into play, and those softs should die off fairly quickly as we make our way down to number 11, then turn 12, and then the famous corner, turn 13, where you get a massive dose of DRS and a massive straight line of just full accelerator. See what you can do. Bit of a lift there from Matt though, tiny bit of a lift, and unfortunately has lost out to DRS. Matt has managed to break it, keep his calm, keep his confidence, and might try and chase down Webby. And Webby, unfortunately, after having a very good start to this race in the wet conditions, probably won't be able to challenge for that race win, as Nadeem has managed to pull out a 2.8 gap. Absolutely crazy. A 1 minute 50.416 is the fastest lap in dry conditions right now. Webby just isn't able to contend with that pace for now. However, Suffocating on the medium compounded tyre and Jazz on the softs, the gap between P7 and P6 is around about roughly 1.4 seconds, and we did say Ollie does look a lot faster heading towards Sector 2 and is faster in the current sector, which is Sector 1. So if he can keep his calm, keep his mojo, and just do what he does best and race like he races, then he could find himself in the DRS very shortly. He is able to maintain a decent, I'd say, stable position at the moment, and then when he needs to push, he will push, because those soft tyres should start to die off a little bit, a lot more than the mediums, as track tyre deg is quite high around the Chinese circuit. So we'll keep him on now. He might just peak into DRS very shortly. You can see there at 1 point. Oh, there it is. He's under a second. It's 0.8 the gap between P7 and P6. Suffocating has done what he needed to do, and now he's got to put the pressure and try and get Jazz, and then maybe try and get P5. The gap between Jazz and Brisbane is around about 3.6. So if Suffocating can magic up some pace, or if Brisbane makes a major mistake, Suffocating could find himself in a very good position here. With DRS enabled, he could chill out just a little bit more. And speaking of the devil, Brisbane making his way up into P4, getting past Matt. Matt on the, I believe that is medium compounded tyre. Brisbane on the soft compounded tyre. Now trying to chase down Mav for that P3, that final podium position. Lap number 10. Next lap, penultimate lap of this race. It's starting to get spicy. Can Brisbane... Can he do it? Can he get that P3, steal it away from Mav? Stay tuned. It's going to get exciting, and it's definitely going to be a juicy one to watch. So, the highest team at the moment to score some decent points in the sprint race is going to be Brisbane and Matt Pyre, both racing for the exact same team, both of them right now, currently P4 and P5. The second highest team to score some good points in the sprint race is Suffocating and his teammate Viper Strikes. So, not too bad. Some teams scoring big points, and some others not able to, unfortunately. But it's not the end of the world. We've still got a feature race after this. And actually saying that, I got completely sidetracked and distracted, but Nadeem, out of all the people, has somehow lost the net race lead And Webby now takes the lead of this race. Has Nadeem slowed down to cause a juicy, epic battle towards the sprint race? If he has, this could get exciting. Nadeem right on the gearbox of Webby McQueen now, exiting turn number 16. Can Webby win this race? Or will it be Nadeem winning this race? The GOAT of all time against Webby, who's also a GOAT, I must say. So two fantastic, wonderful drivers about to battle it out. The penultimate lap of this race. We'll keep our eyes peeled to see if it gets spicy. And Webby going a little bit wide there. Nadeem on the outside line as we make our way out of turn number 4, heading towards turn number 5 and turn number 6, heading towards sector 2 now. They're going to be side by side, but Webby able just to stay ahead. Nadeem late on the brakes is going to go for the lead once again on lap number 11 on the exit of turn number 6. Webby, if he can keep close, he'll get the advantage of DRS on the exit of turn 13, heading towards turn number 14. Absolutely sensational, and more carnage happening towards the back of the grid is Mav under humongous pressure now from Brizzen, who's around about 1.1 seconds behind Maverick and could steal P3. And biggest of it all, Nadeem with a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. So if Webby keeps it clean and stays within track limits and gets no warnings, he will take the win here at China for the sprint race, and I think he'll be very pleased and happy with that one. But I don't think he wants to win it behind Nadeem. He wants to win it at the checkered flag in P1. Make our way down to turn number 14. He's going to put out to the right hand side. Nadeem aggressively defending that one. Is the switchback going to happen? No, the switchback won't happen, but Webby will do everything he can to stay within 3 seconds, and we'll see what happens. But this is also getting spicy. Mav going into pressure now from Brizzen for the final lap of this race. Can Brizzen get close enough to steal P3? We'll have to find out, as the top two only separated by 0.5 of a second. Absolutely crazy. Wow. It's all going on lap number 12, the final lap of the sprint race. It's all happening. It's all carnage. It's all chaos. It's absolutely fan-flipping-tastic and suffocating. Only 0.5 now behind P6 of Jazz. Drivers starting to find pace, starting to find the confidence, and Webby doing everything he can to stay within a second to get the DRS and try and win this race fairly on track ahead of Nadeem. Because I think if you want to head in Nadeem, who is the best driver of all times in F1 history, I think Webby would be quite proud of himself if he finished ahead in Nadeem. But we'll see what happens, as that gap is now 1.1, and Nadeem might have just pulled away just ever so slightly, and Webby will not get the DRS at all, heading on the back straight at turn 13 towards turn number 14. As we see Brizzen really starting to close the gap down on Mav as we make our way into turn number 11, 12, and then 13. Mav is going to have to do something very smart here, or something very, very clever to defend this P3 for now. Making their way out of turn 13, heading towards turn number 14. We're going to go on board of Brizzen. We're going to see if he can get close enough. Mav will pull to the right hand side to try his absolute best to defend the inside line. Is Brizzen close enough? He might go for a dive here at turn 14. He's going to go for the dive. He's going to go for it. He's going to go for the lunge. Wheel to wheel. As we're going to quickly go back to the top two quickly. Nadeem trying to do what he can. Webby gets around Nadeem actually across the line. And it's going to be Webby. Or is it? It is going to be Webby in P2, who gets a 20-second time penalty for corner cutting and gained 1 place. That is a big, big yikes for Webby. Definitely not ideal. But hopefully that one will get removed, because that's very, very harsh. Nadeem will take the victory, but most likely the results will be changed around, because, yeah, I think Nadeem slightly pushed Webby off there. So we'll see what happens with that one. But what a race. Brizzen unable to get past Mav. Mav defends that P3, which makes it a P2. But like I said, 20-place grid penalty for gaining 1 position. Webby hopefully should get that one removed. What a lovely race that was to watch. But we'll see what happens, because Webby did kind of go wide, but he might have got pushed by Nadim. But that's quite interesting. A bit harsh by the game to give him a 20 grid place penalty for gaining one position, even though he looked like he did give it back. I'm not too sure if he did though, so we'll see what happens. As we watch the podium celebrations. But like I said, that was absolutely fantastic to watch. And now we make our way to the main race, the feature race, for some more racing around China. Is it going to be in wet conditions though? Or is it going to be nice and dry? Nice and dry. No rain to bother anybody at all for this race. So we're just waiting for the players to sort the setups out, sort the strategies out, and then make their way into the race for the feature and see who will take the race victory home. Of course, Nadim taking the victory in the sprint race, but if results are changed, it'll be Webby who won the sprint race, but I'm not too sure what's happening with that at the moment. So we'll just keep our eyes peeled, patient, and go from there. Vers! Holy moly! Subscribe with Prime. You've subscribed for 4 months. Thank you so much, Vers. Means so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. How you doing, buddy? Welcome to the stream. I did see, I don't think you had a great sprint race, did you? I could see you were kind of struggling on the wet conditions there. Do. Just double check to make sure nothing's been changed. Excuse me. Here we go then. We're going to get 5 red lights here at the Shanghai circuit of China. It's going to be lights out and away we go for racing here. Going to wait for the game to give me access at some point. There we go. That's what we love to see. A very good start for Brisbane, who makes his way into P1 and Suffocating makes his way into P2 and might try and challenge the race leader heading in towards turns number 2 and 3. And Suffocating on the inside might just get the move done. Yellow flags in the background. Someone's had contact. Someone's around. And it looks like it might be Vers involved in that contact. Never mind, it's not. It's going to be Matt Pyer and Twin getting involved. Definitely not ideal. Wobby finds his way up into P3. Viper. Oh, there's someone off on the grass there. Goodness me. And they get a move done as well. Absolutely crazy. That would have been absolutely lovely if they got that sorted. Nadim down in P7 under pressure from the car behind the James Mustang, but also trying to put the pressure on Hugh Jazz for P6, trying to go around the outside. And does he get it done? Does he? He does indeed. Bit of bargy contact, but he makes his way up into P6, and That's another position gained. Right then. Making our way down to turn number 11 now. We're going to see a lot of overtakes happen here. Some split strategies as well. Some on the softs, some on the mediums. Fairly interesting. We're going to get a very hint and a dose of what the straight line speed is like on some of these drivers' cars. Making their way down to turn number 14. Everyone tugging in to the rear wing of everybody at this circuit right now on the back straight. Nadeem in P6. Might try and go for another position, but might be Ryan Gosling going for a move on Viper Strikes, and it is indeed. Oh my goodness, Ryan going for a move, and Nadeem also going for a move. He makes his way up into P5. Joe losing 2 positions in one corner on the exit of 14. I don't think Joe would be very happy with that one. That was very close though, I must say, to contact. So I'm fairly surprised that no one got taken out as we made our way into turn 14. But now on the second lap of racing, Nadeem already up into P4 and making his way through. Robin McQueen as well up at the progress ahead of the field, up into P2, get ahead of Suffocating, making their way out of turn number 4, heading towards 5 and 6, and of course Webby ahead, Suffocating slots in behind, and Nadeem in P4 trying to chase down Suffocating. And Ryan did look for a cheeky move there on Nadeem, but Nadeem doing some excellent defending and defending that P4 for now. Maverick, however, down in P8 at the moment on the soft compounded tyre, trying to chase down Jazz for that P7. We're currently chilling. That turns number 9 and then turn 10, heading towards 11, about to make our way, or shall I say breakthrough, into sector 3 now. So if Mav gets us right on the exit at 12, which he is fairly close enough, the gap between them two is around about 3 to 2 tenths, and it's going to close and close and close and close and close as we make our way down to turn 14. Of course, DRS still one more lap until it's enabled, but Mav's going to pull to the right hand side on the soft tyre. He'll get the better grip, he'll get the better momentum. James Mustang in the background watching this lovely scrap happen ahead, but Mav very early on the brakes there, and with a very good exit makes his way at the moment not into P7, still Jazz ahead into turn 16 though. Wood McQueen fastest lap, and then minus Nadeem who takes it at 147.867. Nadeem absolutely flying, and Wood McQueen trying to go for the race lead already. Down to turns number 2 and 3, losing the car ever so slightly there in sector 1. Webby trying to do what he can on the soft tyres to really try and put the pressure and really run away, but isn't able to get into the lead yet. But I say that, and he's now into the lead on the exit of 4. Webby once again finds himself into the race lead, but Brizzen isn't going to give up without a fight, and still Brizzen ahead, but Webby getting a better exit, but it's still side by side into sector 2, heading towards the site Benz and S's, and it's going to be Webby up into P1, but Brizzen still behind with medium compound tyres. Don't get me wrong, Webby at the moment has the advantage, but DRS, look how close Brizzen is. He could easily get past, and Nadeem and Suffocating could also get past Webby if his straight line speed is not the best. So we'll see on the exit of turn 12 what happens. What is the dominance of Brizzen's straight line speed going to be like as we go on board with him now? And we're going to make our way down the back of the field because Nadeem, look at him. He is really starting to get as close as he can to Suffocating. But look at Suffocating. Look at the straight line speed Suffocating's got. Oh, Nadeem late on the brakes and turn 14. He's going to try for it, you know, to go for it. And he does indeed. What a lovely move that was on the exit of 14 into 15 and 16. He finds his way up into P3. And now it's Brizzen next on his hit list. And, Suffocating 2 tenths behind. Let's see what he can do. All getting spicy, chat. All getting spicy. And our first driver as well to get a penalty this race is Brizzen. Not Brizzen, sorry. It's going to be Twin. Down in P11. A 3-second time penalty for corner cutting. There you go. There you go, chat. Here we have it then. Already Nadeem trying to put the pressure on Brizzen and get his way up to P2. Is he going to get it done? Late on the brakes on the soft compound tyre, and he does. Into P2, Nadeem goes right behind Robin McQueen. These two having an excellent scrap in the sprint race. Nadeem could take it, run away with victory. Let's see what he could do against Robin McQueen. Can he even get by this lap? Probably can, but we'll see what happens. The gap between P1 and P2 at the moment is 8 tenths. Nadeem's still within a second to get that dose of DRS, which will really help him out. Let's see what he can do then. Mustang going very wide there. And that could open the door for Brisbane once again. But Nadeem does have DRS as it gets activated now. But look at the straight line speed difference between Brisbane and Nadeem. And he's not going to go for the move yet. Very smart thinking there by Brisbane not to go for the move. Because if you go for a risky dive, you could be intentionally forcing yourself into a major problem and a major mistake and giving yourself damage, which you don't want to do. Especially in the F2 cars. Because once you get damage in the F2 cars, it is very impossible to turn a corner. And in the background I say that, and we just saw there from Mav going very wide and very much exceeding track limits. He'll definitely get a warning for that on the exit at turn 16. James Mustang only 7 tenths behind at the moment. Mav once again going very wide on the soft compound tyre. May already be struggling with the grip difference of levels, so we'll see what happens with that. However, on the other end, Viper strikes on the medium compound tyre against Ryan Gosling on the soft compound tyre. Viper having a very good feature race so far. A very good feature race. He will be quite pleased with how his race is going so far for Ryan Gosling as well. Currently behind P4, around about 6 tenths. Nadeem as well, managing to break that gap to the driver behind of around about a second, which is going to be Brisbane. Really pushing the track there and the limits, as you saw there. He wiggled coming out of turn number 10, and now the gap between GOVEE and Nadeem is only 5 tenths of second. Absolutely crazy. On the exit of 13, down to 14, is Nadeem going to have a chance to go for the move? He gets a DRS enabled. But at the moment, it doesn't look like it's enough. So, some very good exits have to come as we see James Mustang getting past Maverick for P7. Someone drifting at the background. It's going to be Hugh Jads down in P9 at the moment, having a bit of a splendid battle with Matt. And Matt could find his way up into P9 if he gets the move done on Jazz. And Mav once again going wide at turn 16. Definitely not ideal and definitely not what we want to see. And now it's getting a bit spicy for the top two because they are separated by 3 tenths of a second. It looks like Nadeem was side by side in that slight hairpin of turn 1, 2 and 3 in sector 1, but just wasn't able to get the throttle down or the grip. And Webby still ahead in P1 on lap number 6 out of 16. Can Nadeem do it this lap? Can he get past Webby at all? If he gets some very good exits, we'll have to find out. But these two, aggressive fighting. We've got some lovely battling on our hands. Also as well, whilst the soft tyres are starting to fade off now, the mediums start to come to play because already Viper Strikes 5 tenths behind Ryan Gosling. Ryan Gosling probably starting to struggle now on those soft compounded tyres because the gap between himself and P4 is around about 9 tenths, so he might be in that 1 second window very shortly. And Nadeem very close, more than he's been close to this lap. The gap between them two is 3 to 2 tenths. Is it going to be enough though, as you make our way to turn 14, to get an overtake done with the DRS enabled? It doesn't look like it is. Nadeem was actually thinking going for the dive there, before better off not to do that, and finds himself down in P2 still. Matt Pyro as well, as we said, going to challenge for P10 and gets past No, he doesn't. No, money drops to P10 once again, and it's Jazz up into P9. Maverick has peeled into the pit lane. So is J Mustang. Is it early on those softs? I'm not too sure. Maybe not. As we see a move going on Nadeem and Webby. Still wheel to wheel. Webby on the inside. Able to fend off Nadeem and still keep P1 in this race. Nadeem sliding out at turn number 4, heading towards turn number 6. Looks like Nadeem got the better exit, got the better momentum. But a switchback could be on here between Webby and Nadeem. But it doesn't look like it will happen for now. But if Webby can keep close enough, he looks like he'll have the upper hand of straight line speed against Nadeem on the exit at 12 with that DRS enabled. But we'll see what happens closer towards the end of this lap before we get the DRS once again. Rose as well in the background getting past Twin for P11. Twin into the pit lane and yellow flags as well. I'm not too sure if that's yellow flags flagging up because drivers are exiting the pit lane. That could be it. If so, a little bit of an odd game bug there, but we do love EA so much. Ryan Gosling will lose very shortly DRS, which definitely won't be ideal. Let's see the straight line speed difference then between, oh my goodness, Nadeem completely going off track there, sliding. Webby trying to get the lead back for this race. Look at the straight line speed difference between Nadeem and Webby. Webby not going for the move though. May think to go for a move very shortly. Maybe at the exit of turn 16. Suffocating. Looking to get the move done very shortly. Brisen as well looking to pile the pressure. Viper Strikes as well. Doing what he can to get up in to P5. And saying that he's going to get P5 because into the pits goes Webby and Ryan. So Joe will for now find himself up to P4. What some splendid battles we're getting today. Matt as well, boxes as well, which is interesting. Right, Wobby McQueen ahead. No, not ahead of Nadeem. Nadeem stayed out, so if Wobby can get a very good outlap out, then he could be ahead of Nadeem across the start and finish line, but we'll see what happens. The gap between Brisen and Nadeem is only 1.3, so theoretically Brisen could be on for a good result here. But what also is interesting is Suffocating is around about 6 tenths behind P2 and may try to go for a move for P2. We'll see. Could Ollie make that 3 into a number 2? Unfortunately, doesn't look like he has the straight line speed aggression to do so yet. Oh, Ollie trying to get the move done. Nadeem into the pit lane. Now it's a race against time for Webby to try and take back P1. And we've got a spicy battle also happening as well with Suffocating and Brisen for the leads of this race. We'll see what happens. Nadeem, there he is. Nadeem about to leave the pit lane. And Webby. Oh, Webby. Where is he? Where's Webby? There's Nadeem, there's Webby. Webby, with more heat in his tyres, is right behind Nadeem. He's going to be on ice skating cold tyres for 1 lap or 2. So he's really got to try and get his tyres warmed up as best as he can. But Nadeem ahead of Webby. Webby, that's not what he wants to see. Nadeem ahead of Webby. That's what we want to see. So, making their way to turn number 12 and 13. The gap between these two is 3/10. Ollie looks like he's close enough. Ollie is pulling to the left-hand side. Going for a better camera angle, he's ahead at turn 14. But Brisen, later on the brakes, able to defend and does push Suffocating fairly wide out at turn 15. Definitely isn't ideal, but they're both peeling into the pit lane. Oh my goodness! Suffocating almost into the wall. Definitely not ideal. That would have been race over for him if he stayed going straight into the wall. Then yeah, that would be race over. Right, Nadeem then. There he is. Gonna take... He's technically in net P1 of this race with Wobby around about a second behind, and obviously Suffocating and Brisen coming out on, I believe it's going to be soft compounded tyres. So if they can get the pace in, they could be up for advantage to get some good point scoring podiums here. But Webby, 1.3 is the gap to Nadeem. Just doesn't have the race pace that he'd want to challenge Nadeem. Ryan Gosling behind him, P4, on the same compound as Webby. 6 more laps remaining. It all comes down to who's got the momentum, fresher tyres, and pace. It's all about the pace now. Who's me? So, Webby not able to gain as much as you want. Nadeem literally flying and running away. Viper strikes into the pit lane now. And after him leading a lap of P1, he will find himself probably down, maybe ahead of Mav. Actually, no, never mind. He won't not be ahead of Mav. Maybe behind Matt, tucking into P number 9 for this race. We will see what happens. Getting those tyres changed. With a slow stop. Obviously F2 pit stops very slower than F1 pit stops. But Joe will find himself out in P number 10. On soft compound tyres. He has the fresher tyres compared to everybody else on the grid, I believe. And now it's going to be a race against time with Suffocating. It's around about 4/10 behind Brisen. These two need to work together if they want to get anywhere close to the chances of getting podiums for the pair of them, really. On the quicker tyre. The same lap as well, a tyre. No, they're about 2 laps fresher than the rest of the grid. And they are starting to catch. Also, we know Brisen almost caught Mav towards the end of the sprint race, but just wasn't able to get the move done at turn 16. So Brisen can really do his pace now and get it done. Then it could be quite exciting towards the end of this race. We could have 2 soft runners fighting 2 medium runners for P2 and P3. Brisen already 2.8 is the gap to P3. To then connect to P2. Suffocating. Trying to stay with Brisen. Use him. Catch. And fight. Dane's Mustang as well. In P7. Mav in P6. But with a time penalty. Probably worth 3 seconds for corner cutting. Probably 2 of those warnings for going wide at turn 16. So Mav will lose a position in 2. Which definitely is not what we want to see. Won't be happy with that. But at the end of the day, what can you do? If you don't keep within track limits, you do get punished. And yeah, that's all I can say. If you get punished for going over the track limits, then you get punished. You get a penalty, which Obviously, some people won't want... Oh, my goodness. Someone's off. Someone's off. That's Ryan Gosling off track. Holy moly. That was a big, big moment. He managed to keep it out of the walls. Oh, my goodness. I thought that was Brisbane round, but it wasn't. So now it gets interesting. Ryan Gosling having that massive, massive moment. Suffocating was almost going to go for the move there on Brisbane. And, oh, he's off again. Ryan's off. What on earth is going on? Ryan's tyres must be either too hot or just carnage. It is just carnage. That's all I'm going to say. Legitimate carnage. Absolute carnage happening here. Brisbane in P3, suffocating behind in P4. The gap to P2 now is 3.6. Which I don't think they can close in time as Viper Strikes. Oh, Viper Strikes get slam dunk with a 3-time penalty, or 3-second penalty for multiple warnings, probably for exceeding track limits, which definitely isn't ideal. Brisbane trying to defend now against Suffocating, heading towards turn 14. And oh my goodness, there, Ryan Gosling in the background, almost collecting Suffocating, which definitely wouldn't be ideal. Now, with these two fighting, this will really help Webby out. A lot. But Webby trying to do what he can. The gap between himself and Nadeem is slowly coming down, but then hopping up again. And it was 1.6, but it's now 1.8. So Webby's had a horrific Sector 1. And Nadeem was able to gain time and run away even more. I'm getting quite scared now, chat. I think Webby's starting to feel the pressure just ever so slightly. Ryan Gosling again. Exit turn 6, having that moment again. I don't know what to say. He is really struggling out there on track. Because he's around about, what, 1.2 behind now. So he has lost a big, big factor here. Absolutely crazy. There's Nadeem, 2.5. Leading this race. Suffocating. Holy moly, not far behind at all. Was even looking to go for a move there, but stays behind, which is actually quite smart because we get the DRS at the exit of turn 12, right behind Brisbane here. He'll surely go for the move. He's close enough. Look how close Suffocating is on the exit of turn 13. He's going to pull to the left-hand side as we're like, come on, let's go. Power, power, power. Let's speed past him. He gets ahead of Brisbane, but Brisbane probably going to be late on the brakes once again. Defends absolutely wonderfully. Turn 14, Suffocating. Wow, look at that exit. Absolutely fantastic. Finds his way up into P3, ahead of Brisbane. Absolutely wonderful. But Brisbane with a better exit than Suffocating because he went a little bit wide there. Could just bite back at him and go for the P3 again. Brisbane on the outside, Suffocating on the inside. Oh! Almost both going off track, but Suffocating in P3. Webby will be delighted, because right now he's got P2 to himself, unless he makes a major, major mistake, but at the moment, it's looking good for him. It's looking good for him at all. Very, very good for him. As we can see as well, Viper Strike's right on the gearbox of Jazz, contending potentially for P9. They almost go wheel to wheel on the exit at turn number 6 in Sector 2. Into the S section now. Oh my goodness. Trying to go for a move there. We've got Parisi close. And oh my goodness, he's going to go for a move there maybe. Keep it on the inside. But Jazz is able to keep the car ahead. But on the exit of turn number 10, yellow flags as well. Someone's going very, very slowly. And that's Nadeem. Letting Webby by. Probably those two going to fight it out as we make our way to the penultimate lap very, very shortly. So as those two are scrapping away, we're going to keep our eyes peeled on this battle here for P9. because Joe could get a move done here, which I think he'll be very, very happy with on the soft compound tyre. The same compound as Jazz, just a little bit fresher. Late on the brakes into turn 14. Jazz will try and squeeze him as much as he can. Joe, though, hopefully gets a better exit. Does he? They're going to be level pegging, slight bargy contact there into turn 16. Joe ahead, and Jazz unable to stay ahead. But on the exit of turn 16, is Jazz going to try and go for the move at turn 1? Potentially. More contact, which means Jazz has to conceal and go wide, drifting as well. And Joe will keep that P9 for now. We're going to make our way to the top 2 because they are fighting perilously hard for that P1. Nadim trying to send it down there, trying to put the pressure on Webby and hopefully not make contact. Those two fighting their way they can. Nadim going a little bit wide there, but able to keep right on the gearbox of Webby still. Brisen, however, has lost the gap of a second to Suffocating, and Suffocating can now run away and get this P3. That'd be absolutely tremendous and absolutely lovely. Right then, on the exit of 12, down to 13, Nadim. Trying to do what he does best. Now, what's his straight line speed like? Right then, into turn 14. And then 15 and 16. Nadim, now right on the gearbox of Wobby McQueen. He's going to take the race lead of this race, but Wobby's not going to give us one without a fight. Into turn 1 we go. Going to be side by side. James Mustang, a 3-second time penalty, but Webby losing the car at back end ever so slightly. And Nadim trying to go around the outside and now has the inside line. Will get the move done for P1 and stays right behind. Not right behind, sorry, ahead of Webby. Webby was slotted into P2. These two, if they fight hard enough, this could help Suffocating out. Birds off track as well. Definitely not ideal. Ryan Gosling, I believe it was up into P5. Oh no, he's done it again. He spun the car. Oh no, Michael, that was so not right. Definitely not ideal. But Wobby McQueen, what a fight he's tried to put up in today. But Nadim gonna run away now. The gap between them two is 0.8 of a second. And it's 0.6. Nadim's dropping off. This could get interesting. Not sure what tactics Nadim's playing here. He's got a good exit. The gap though is 0.7, 0.8. Is Webby close enough to go for the dive, go for the move and the race win? Is Nadim gonna win it here at China? We'll have to find out. Into turn 14. Webby as late on the brakes as he possibly can be. And it looks like coming across the line is going to be Nadim taking victory here at Shanghai. He'll cross the line and he's done it. And he has indeed. He takes P1, Webby P2, Suffocating P3, Brisen P4, crashing happening behind, Ryan Gosling P5, Matt P6, James will finish home in P7, Maverick P8, Joe P9, and Jazz coming home in P10, and then 11 and 12 will cross the line very, very shortly. But no, chat, that is the race done and dusted. Just wait for P11 and 12 to cross the line and we can get started. Give me a second, folks. I'm not too sure what's happening. Just waiting on one more driver. But while we are waiting, I hope you enjoyed the stream today. Make sure to stay tuned and tune in tomorrow, because tomorrow we've got the lovely ACC lot, and that's with me once again, Mr. Flynn. So stay tuned for that. So we've got some awesome things happening then. And there we go. First crosses the line. End the race here today at China. There we have it. There we go, chat. There we go. Nadeem, driver of the day. Agreed. He definitely put on a stellar performance today. So, absolutely fantastic. We'll see the results, get the race results, and we will end it there, chat. Oh, there we go then, chat. That is the results for the weekend. If we quickly click this and do that button, that is your sprint race results. Nadeem taking the win, but that could get reinstated as well. We got a 20-second penalty or whatever it was, and it dropped him down to P8, which definitely wasn't ideal. Excuse me. And then for the main race, we have, if it's not working, why my button's not working? There we go, there's the buttons, they're working now. Nadeem, back-to-back wins potentially in case the results get changed for sprint race. Webby P2, Suffocating P3, Brisbane P4, Ryan P5, Matt P6, 7 James, 8th Maverick, 9th Joe, Jazz P10, Twin P11, and P12 going out to Vers. Absolutely fantastic. Right then, chat, right then, you guys have been fantastic. Thank you so much tomorrow, and I'll catch you again for some more F2 next Friday. Catch you tomorrow though for ACC, 8 o'clock UK time. Do not miss it. Keep an eye on our socials because there'll be a Twitter post going out, and the stream, we get a ping there, it will go live, bits and bobs like that. I'll catch you in the next one. You've been fantastic. You've been awesome. This is me, Mr. Flynn, signing out for the evening, and yeah, bye.